She was injured with crystals that penetrate her face and her scalp, her nose, and she also suffers from ear trauma, and she has a tinnitus, which is a noise in her ear. And I'm not a psychiatrist, but I guess she's post-traumatic. She has a post-traumatic syndrome also, because she's crying and she's remaining when she remember all what happened. I guess she will be discharged today after an audiogram. She will do an audiogram, but she will suffer for many more days.
Would crystals of glass not only affect the people in the restaurant, but those walking past the restaurant as well? Then?
Sure. Yeah. Many people outside the restaurant can be also injured by the pieces of glasses. If it's a big pieces, you have to take it out, because sometimes it can penetrate arteries or vein, and sometimes they cause a lot of bleeding. People outside Israel they don't know how is to live with almost everyday events like this. We are thinking twice if going to a restaurant, if going to a mall, especially before the holidays or in the holidays. I don't want to say that we get accustomed to it, but I guess I have to say it, and that's our way of life. And if there are no dead people, we say that it was a very easy suicide bombing, and we are living with it as normal. I hate to say it, but it's horrible to live like this, and it's horrible to say that that's our way of life, and I hope there will be an ending for this. Mm-hmm. We haven't got another country. That's the only country we have, and we cannot go no place, because nobody wants us, the Jews, overseas. That's the only. Israel is the only place we have. I want to tell these things for the sake of my parents, for the sake of my father and my mother, who was Holocaust survivors, and I'm from the second generation. And they were in Poland, they came from Poland. My mother was married with a 2-year-old child, and my father was married to another woman, of course, not my mother, with a 5-year-old child. They were very, very rich. My father was a doctor. His family has a factory of furs, and my mother was very rich, and they were learning and having families. And my mother, when she was hiding from the Germans, she was hiding with her 2-year-old son. Her husband was killed in an aktia, and the people said, you have to go out or to kill your child. Mishka, he was called Mishka, and she killed him, she strangled him. And my father, in another city in Novogrodek, he was hiding also, and the German came to take them for the bore, how you say the bore? The hole, to take all the Jews and put them in the hole. So he was a doctor, and he was an injection of morphine. So he gave his wife and his boy, and he was killing himself. But he had no enough. He had the morphine was not enough for him, so he survived, and he was taken out from the hole. I think it's not a hole, but it's expressed what I mean. So they survived, and they came and they met together in the forest. They were partisans, and they came to Israel, and then I was born after the מלחמת השחרור, the independence war. And I think, and my mother and my father always told me that nobody liked the Jews. Nobody wants us elsewhere. They had a ticket to Australia, and they didn't know because they said that in Australia also there can be a Holocaust. And I think it's not that I love Israel, but if we would go to someplace else, that was our country. But our country was in Israel, and everybody came to Israel, and we came to Israel and built our home here, and that's our only place to live. Nobody wants us anywhere. We will be foreigner anywhere we are foreigner, in the States, in Europe, everywhere. Only in Israel it's our place, and we have no other place. So we have to defend our place, and we have to be here. We cannot give Haifa to the Arabs. They were here. Of course they were here, but in Boston, the American will give back the land to the Indians. They will give back the land to people who are living there. I'm not a politician, and I don't want to get into it, but we have no other place to go. And we want to live in peace with the Arabs, and especially in Haifa we are living. If they want to live in peace with us, they are working here. I have so many friends, doctors, that are working with us, and patients, and we can live with them. But they must let us give here, and they must understand that's our place, and we must and we will stay here. Thank you.